Hey, this is Pete from 21st Century Prepper. Tonight's podcast, we are going to be talking about bug out bags. We're finally doing it. We're going for it. So, tonight with me is Skip.
Good evening, everybody.
And Tony.
Hello, everybody.
And a new admin joining us tonight is David.
Good evening.
And Richard is back.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Okay. We've kind of put off doing the discussion about the bug out bag because virtually everybody does it. But we recently had the Ladies Only podcast, and they specifically brought up the bug out bag for ladies. So I thought we should at least touch on the basic bug out bag for everybody. Now, I kind of have a radical viewpoint of the bag. I started out, I think the first bag was 70 liters. It was a monster. I still have it. If anybody wants it, I'll post it on eBay. If anybody needs to get rid of a dead body, it'd be perfect for a dead body. I had that bag. It was huge. It was a monster. It was full of everything. It was stupid. It was completely asinine. I emptied it, took away half the stuff. I got some smaller bags. And even those were a little dicey. So I've gone now to bare minimum. I've decided what I will use it for, and that's just within a 25-mile radius of my home. And for 3 days, tops. That's it. I have a system, and the bug out bag is part of the system. The biggest bag I have is an inch bag, and that will be another podcast another day. But my bug out bag is 6 pounds, so it's very small, very compact. It's a point A to point B for me, and whether I'm out on the road and I need to come home, or I'm at home and I need to go to one of my bug out locations, which I have 6 of them within a 25-mile radius of me. That's what I built it for. And that's the biggest thing. Someone building a new bug out bag is, what do you need it for? That's the first thing I tell people. Sit down, make a list of reasons why you would need one. Whether it be hurricanes, tornadoes, maybe you live near a nuclear power plant. Maybe your area is prone to wildfires or earthquakes, that kind of stuff. Find out what you need it for, and then go from there. Tonight we're going to cover just the basics, because every bug out bag should be built around you and yours. No one knows your abilities better than you. No one knows your needs or wants or desires better than you. You can listen and get ideas from people. I certainly do, and I certainly hand out ideas. I don't tell people, oh, this is what you need, specifically this thing right here. But, I'm like, I lead people that direction, give them ideas, give them reasons why that product might be something you want. Whether it's 2 of the same item, which one I've found is better, but it's strictly up to you which one you go with. So that's my approach to getting people into a bug out bag is why do you need it? And then make sure you build it around yourself. It does not matter what Joe down the block's got, or Billy Bob 3 towns over has got, or your favorite prepper dude online or favorite YouTuber, what they have, because they're not you. So that's where I sit with that. You guys pretty much in line with that, or you got different ideas on that?
Nah, I take a little bit of a different approach there, but my conditions are different. Like you said, it depends on what you got going on. I drive in to work 51 miles. I live out away. So there are 2 geographic barriers that I would have to travel over to get back home. And in my case, anything over 50 miles is a full bag for me. I take the stance that I'm going to carry a little more than I need because I don't know exactly what the conditions are going to be, and my truck doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
I disguise it like it's laundry or something, and just so you don't have a pack sitting there where everybody can see. I don't want somebody to break my window and get my pack. And I specifically have things that I need, like medications, spare set of glasses, just those kinds of things that are specific to me. And whenever I have to use it, I take out what I don't need and either cash it or leave it in my truck. Mine will come in a good deal heavier than yours. The other thing I do is go through it twice a year when the seasons change, and I'll take Bob out for a walk and see how it feels carrying it, get used to it, and then make my adjustments. That way, I figure if I do that a couple times a year, as I get older, if I have a problem carrying it 3 miles, I'm going to have a problem carrying it 51. So I want to find out what kind of holes. I'll stay overnight with it, and I'll find out what kind of holes I got in my preps if I need to fill something up or fix it.
Yeah. I've specifically built mine just for 25 miles. If I'm going any farther than that, and there's a time of concern that I see, maybe like whether something is going on nationally or whatever, then I take my inch bag. My inch bag goes with me. Plus, I have stuff in my vehicle, so if I have to carry extra, then I'm carrying extra. And that doesn't include, my Bob does not have medical stuff in it other than just a little tin of Band-Aids and some pain meds. My first aid kit is in there also. So if you want to combine the first aid kit and my Bob together, it might be 10 pounds. So, and then my EDC. You throw my EDC on top of that. I don't carry an AR-15 with my Bob because I don't think I'm going to need an AR-15 in the 25-mile radius of my house unless it's all-out war or something, and then I'm screwed anyway because I'm 49 years old and there's guys who are better trained and
right.
shooting at me instead. I'm like, I surrender. So, like I said, mine's specifically just for 25 miles. I don't pretend it's for anything more than that. And so, yeah, if I'm going a long ways away, I routinely drive 116 miles or so to see my kid and my father. If it's a time of concern, I take my inch bag with me. So that would be, if I had to come back the 112 miles, 116 miles it is, whatever it is, it's going to take me 10, 12 days, whatever it's going to take. Then I have that stuff with me. So, but my Bob is strictly for a 25-mile radius in 3 days. So get kind of to the basics. Water is the most important. So you need to carry water and a way to filter water. A couple of different ways to filter water. Number 2 is one is none. And then shelter is very important. Now, shelter can mean anything. Shelter is clothing, whether it's poncho, heavy duty clothing. I mean, you can be outside in Carhartts in the winter and be perfectly fine, right? You don't, I've seen the thing where it's shelter. You need shelter within 3 hours. Well, obviously, we've all been outside for longer than 3 hours without having shelter. That's just clothing or shelter under a tree or shelter behind a rock or behind a wall to get out of the wind or to get out of the sun. Blanket.
Tarp does great.
Tarp, any of that stuff that's shelter. It doesn't mean a debris shelter out in the middle of the woods or a tent or, that kind of stuff. It means anything to shield your body from the elements. Then we have food. Food, it can be depending on what you want. Some people can carry MREs. Some people carry other freeze-dried food. Some people carry just strictly survival bars, that kind of stuff. I have a couple of granola bars and some hot chocolate mix and a cup of soup thing. So, or that kind of stuff. And then there's fire. Multiple ways to make a fire. So, basic Bic lighter. Just have a Bic lighter on you. Ferro rod, any of magnesium stones, those are cool. Those were fantastic when I was a kid. You play with those things. So I add information, because we are 21st century prepper, information. The most likely reason we would use a Bob is because we're leaving because of some reason, that's maybe not major, because nothing that major has ever happened before, so the odds of something that major happening is kind of low. But a house fire is high compared to national anarchy. A wildfire, hurricane, tornado, whatever. Your house gets destroyed, information will help you rebuild. So a flash drive with financial, that kind of stuff, medical information, insurance information, so you can that tornado flattens your house. You pull out your phone. You've already got your insurance guy pre-programmed on your phone, which you should, because I think we brought that up one time.
Yes.
In the last podcast about weather, right?
Sure was, last podcast.
Get on the horn to your insurance guy, and he's like, "What'd you have?" So then you go down to his office, and you plug the flash drive in, and you upload 200 pictures of all your crap, and then your insurance company starts the ball rolling. So, and then cash, and or a credit card, or the world runs on money. So if I'm bugging out from here, so I'm going from my house somewhere else while whatever is happening in town, let's say it's a ammonia leak or something like that, I'm going to the next town over and staying in a hotel for a couple of days. So I need cash, and that's my point B. So point A to point B. Point B generally being someplace where there's other supplies for you. And that other supplies could be at Walmart, and you have to go buy them, or Target, or Gander Mountain, or wherever. Piggly Wiggly to go get some food. That could be point B. Lowe's. Go get some rub. Get a grill. Go get some steaks while you bugged out. And you're grilling in the parking lot at the hotel.
That's hardcore.
What was that, Tony? I heard you in there.
Well, I was just going to say it was a lot like what he was saying. I was just going to add on. You're talking about one of the reasons you have a lot of that stuff in your bag too is because, let's say an experience, a situation like you're using for an example, you have to leave that town, an ammonia leak or the wildfires. It's always out west. You don't have that stuff, and you're in the next town over. You're finally somewhere safe, and now you're at a hotel, and it's like, crap, I have to go to the store, and I have to get this. You and 7,000 other people are doing the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's fun to fantasize and glorify about the zombies and the end, but in all reality, most likely the situation is going to be very temporarily, very fast, and very emergency. And those bug out bags or inch bags is so we don't have to be the ones going to the store and trying to get a couple pair of clean underwear and a couple pair of clean socks. The essentials that we just don't think about.
Well, I'll tell you what did it for me with my bug out bag and truck prep, I guess you could call it, was the Fort Wilderness evacuation videos. If you really want to see how quick you got to leave and how quick things can go bad, just watch some of the YouTube videos on Fort Wilderness fires. I mean, they had 10 minutes notice. So,
yeah.
Around our neck of the woods, it's tornadoes. You get about 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's important to keep stuff in your vehicle, disguised, I forget who was saying it, their laundry bag. You just, there you go. But that way, when you only have that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you don't have to think, where is this, where is this? If it's you, the significant other, or kids, or your pets, that's what you're gathering. You're not getting your bag.
Yeah. Everything is set and ready to go. Or it's by the door, so you're out the door and you can grab it.
That too, yeah.
Yeah.
Some people's
vehicles. If it's a tornado and you're hidden to the basement. I'm lucky I get a David, do you have a basement?
Well, actually, I've got a storm shelter in the ground now, but you was talking about that, picking it up and going. I guess it's been about 3-4 years ago. One of the big tornadoes that came through Moore. And we probably had about, we knew they was watching the weather. They'd talked about it for days. And, I had everything that I thought we might need. And, literally 15, 20 minutes notification, we start getting the storm sirens, TV confirmation that we got a storm moving towards us. We literally go out, load up, and we're gone. And to add to the bag part, this time of year, one of the things that I try to do is make a conscious effort to keep my vehicles fueled up, because in those situations, when we was leaving, you couldn't get into a gas station to get gas. Everybody, they were on empty, and in that situation, they were telling people, to get out of the way. This was an F5 tornado, and you basically get the vehicle and drive around till it's over with. And
sounds like a great plan.
Well, there's an old trick to that, but anyway, we won't go into that tonight. But literally, we're driving by, there's numerous pumps, and people lined up, and that's not the time to be sitting.
No.
You want to be on the move. The vehicle fuel would be another thing that easily overlooked until you need it.
Yeah, no, we keep several fuel cans around, and we stabilize the fuel and never let the vehicle get below a half, and then fuel out of the cans and go get the cans filled and restabilize them every so often. It's easy to do.
Yeah, I got to do that here soon. I've got my cans from last fall. I've got to empty and then I'll refill for the summer, and then I'll stabilize them for the summer, and then I'll do the same thing in the fall.
I'll say one other thing about bags. Not everybody is on the same wavelength in the same house. So for those people that might need bags and aren't really at the point they want to put their own together yet, I make sure they have one and I put it together.
That's good advice.
There you go.
For them.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm doing the same for my wife.
Another thing that I had, we'd started talking about doing this before. I got on FEMA's website, and they've got a pretty good list that, if you're trying to put a bag together and you've not got one, don't have any experience with it, you can use that list and a little bit of common sense and have something put together that you can work with.
That's excellent advice.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah, and we have FEMA, and we have a couple other ones listed on the website.
Yeah.
And we have occasionally we've done that on the Facebook page. So anytime, the biggest thing on the Facebook page, if you're on there and you have a question about something, search it first, because it's probably been discussed. So you can start there, and if there's still confusion, you can add to a conversation, and it pops back up at the top of the page. People will see it, or just go ahead and make a new post, and we can go from there. But yeah, we have the FEMA's a good, the FEMA thing.
It's good and it's cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't cost anything.
Well, we paid for it at one point.
Yeah, at one point.
At one point, yeah, we paid for it.
So it's back to the bag. People always ask about what bag should they get. And I'm going to touch on the tactical versus non-tactical a little bit, although we've already done that a little bit with the Elmo bag.
Oh, God.
I read this a while back. Get your stuff together that you think you need and go through it and take some stuff out and maybe add some stuff and make sure this is what you think you need or want. And survival is easy. Thriving is the goal, I think. And the more stuff you have, it just adds a level of comfort, is how I'm starting to look at it. I like my comfort. I've got 95 movies on my phone. I'm going to be comfortable.
Yep.
And I have a way to charge my phone. So, and I've got 80 gigs of music on my phone. So I'm going to be comfortable, whether I'm in a hotel room watching a movie, or if that fantasy thing happens where I'm sitting in a debris shelter out in the middle of the woods, I'm going to be watching a movie on my phone. I'm going to be comfortable. It doesn't take up much room, but get your stuff together. And
I
then,
like how you're mentioning the fun part too. Because you're talking about like, even if there's an emergency where you're only going for a few days, I think an overlooked thing. And I hate the YouTube videos because everybody has 35 knives and explaining why they have 35 knives, but not one of them has something for the morale. A deck of cards and some dice and a couple scorecards, especially if you're in a hotel with the kids. I can tell you right now, mine, I have a standard deck of cards, some dice, and then I have scorecards for like 7 different dice games, and then random card game.
I got something for you guys. What's something that you carry that you don't think would be normal for most other people? I'll go with mine. I carry moleskin just in case I develop blisters if you have to be on a long walk.
Yeah,
there you go.
I've got that in my first aid kit.
I will go with that. I carry a slick undershirt, Under Armour, and underwear, because one of the things, I went to Colorado last year and carried my bag up a mountain and down. I got soaking wet, and the pack rubbed my back, shoulders, and all my other sensitive parts were raw because everything was soaking wet on me. You put that Under Armour on, and it slides under the bag, and it doesn't make your shoulders raw.
That's a good tip.
No, I think I have one that not a lot of people do. So get out your notepads and get this one ready. Coffee filters. And that's not for coffee or anything like that. A lot of people, you're going to filter in water. And if you're out there for the long haul, save your water filter. Get that large debris and everything out. Get the dirt out. Let your water filter focus on the bacteria.
Work even better.
Which one do you use? Which filter do you use to carry with you?
I have multiple. I have a Sawyer filter, so I can siphon out of a puddle if that's all I can get, and then that goes into a bag. Then the Sawyer filter threads on top of the bag, and you can squirt that in your water bottle. And then I have I've got two of those because I have one for my wife's kit. Unfortunately, I've put back her bag, and I only have water in hers. Then I have a life straw in each one. And I actually just recently picked up this new, it's from the Life Straw company. It's a water bottle, and it's double threaded on the top. So you take the first completely threaded part off, and that removes the filter and everything. You put your dirty bacteria-filled water inside there, filter that back on, and then the top threads just take off the lid where you can drink directly from the filter, almost like another Life Straw built into a water bottle.
Sounds like a self-contained Life Straw in its own.
If everybody's listening to this, I don't know when this one will get posted, but there may or may not already be one posted. If I don't see it before this, I'll post a picture and a video of that.
Yeah, I carry it.
I used the coffee filters and the Katadyn pump, and I have a Sawyer as a backup.
I have a Sawyer.
You guys already have those. Then,
yeah,
maybe not everybody listening.
What about iodine? Do you guys carry iodine tablets?
I do.
I carry betadine.
Yeah, I carry iodine.
I carry water so everybody else, like we were talking as a group in admins the other day about stuff we don't have and we need. And one thing I'm never going to really carry is water. And there's a reason why. I live next to one of the biggest rivers in the country, on the border of the United States and Canada. It's a huge river. And the amount of precipitation we get around here yearly is insane. There's water around me, so I have to have ways to clean the water. That's it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I carry the filters, but I also carry the iodine, and I actually have there's new ones. They come with two bottles. It's got the iodine tablets, and then it's got the iodine neutralizing.
Yes. Yeah.
So it doesn't taste horrible.
Yeah, I've seen that. I think Coleman
if I had the amount of time, I would have. Yeah, if I have the time to do all three, I will actually. If I'm not already dehydrated, I will iodine, neutralize, boil, and then filter. And I know that's excessively overkill.
There's a chance you may have to do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a friend in the East Tennessee that says, all the water in the world, they're not making no new water. It's been through everything 4 or 5 times, and I'm going to send it through one more thing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
There you go.
I don't have it in my Bob, but I carry a Silcock key.
There you go.
Yeah.
To get into faucets in industrial buildings.
And I'm glad you said that because I forgot to put mine back in my bag. We actually needed it to water flowers at work. And it's in my locker at work.
They didn't have one, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, at a hardware store they couldn't find one.
The one thing with the Silcock key is you may need a siphon. So jerry rig a siphon onto a hose nozzle or a hose coupling. So you may have to give it a little bit of pumpage to get the water flowing back out if the water pressure has died. So that's in my inch bag, though, not in my Bob. Okay, back to choosing your bag. Put all your crap together and then measure it. Like tape measure, boom, 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 and figure out the cubic inches. And then go look for a bag. Don't buy a bag and fill it, because then you're going to end up with everything. That's my 70-liter bag that I had was horrible. I bought this bag because I thought it was cool. And then I filled it, and then I could barely pick it up. So get your stuff together, measure it, then find a bag just a little bit bigger than that, because there might be a couple items you may want to put in there. There's always, I carry a couple trash bags and grocery sacks just to collect crap, If I'm collecting some twigs to do a little fire to help me filter my water, I don't have an armful of twigs. I have a grocery sack full of twigs. It's not going to last very long, but it's going to do its job for what it needs to be done, Then the tactical versus the non-tactical. Well, we've discussed this before, but I'm going to touch on it again. Do what you want to do. someone's like, oh, if you're carrying a tactical bag, you're going to become a victim. Someone's going to try to take your stuff because they think you have stuff. There's tactical bags everywhere.
I just love that argument too, because if someone's going to try to take what you have, they don't care what kind of bag you have.
No.
It could be in a grocery sack. It could be in a plain brown bag. And if they don't have something, they're going to try to take it if they know you have something. It could be your pocket might be over bulging. Oh, he's got something in his pocket. Let's take it. It doesn't matter if your pocket's in a camo jacket or a what's the old freaking jackets from the 80s, the shiny shitty ones.
Oh, the balloon, the parachute jacket. Oh, Christ.
Yeah, the parachute.
Yeah, the parachute.
It doesn't matter.
MC Hammer pants looking things.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if your jacket's camo, which I don't wear camo, and I'm out of place in my town. So again, they're also looking what is around your area. If a camo bag isn't going to be out of place, or a tactical bag isn't going to be strictly out of place in your area, then who cares if you have a tactical looking bag or like a school bag. I was just on vacation at Universal Studios in Florida, and every group, at least one person had a bag, and I saw every type of bag. I brought that up in the other podcast. I saw tactical bags with MOLLE strapping on them. I saw school bags, every time, and no one cared. Oh my God, is he a terrorist or something? No one cared because he's just some Joe Blow walking through Universal with a bag with water bottles and diapers in it. So choose the bag you want. You choose it because it looks cool, then you chose it because it looks cool. Make sure it works for you, obviously. You're going to probably go through 2 or 3 or 4 before you find one you like, unless you're able to go out to a store and really, try one on and see how it feels and throw a couple barbells in the back of it and walk around the store or whatever. Unless you're able to do that, you're probably going to go through 2 or 3 bags before you find one that you like. But
practice with your bag too.
And get out there and
don't just fill it and leave it in your truck. I mean,
yeah.
I take mine when I go on walk. Well, not so much in the winter because our winters are horrible. But once we start taking our dogs on the walks, my bag's on my back. I walk with it. I get used to the way it feels. I get used to moving the weight because I am probably a little bit heavier than most people's bag. I think mine's right under 50 pounds. But I walk with that at least 3 times a week. So
yeah, get out there and use it. And you can start if you've never done anything with a backpack. Start with just filling it up with pillows, just to make it so it's bulky to it. It's got the bulkiness to it, so it doesn't flop.
Start with some pillows. Weight is on your bag.
Yeah, and then maybe a week later add some books. Take out one of the pillows and add some books, and then add some more books, and then add your stuff to it. Build up the weight to what you think it's going to be, and go that way. And get used to it. So, let's see. Anything more on the basics?
What I would suggest would be, be open-minded. We already talked about, 3 or 4 different bags before you find the right one. And I've hung on to mine because, every situation's different. I've got one that, I don't even remember now who made it, but it's got the strap. It's on one side. And it's got a waist strap to it, and you put a lot of stuff in that, and it doesn't really call a lot of attention. That would be something that if when we could take our grandkids or something, go to a zoo, you can put water in it, you can put things to eat, you need clean clothes for your kids, that type of thing, and it really doesn't weigh that much. You carry it on your hip, and you can carry more with it that way than you probably need to. But, be open-minded and look at the different types of bags. I see stuff all the time that I want. My wife would tell you that I'm probably a bag freak when it comes to that.
It's kind of I got a Maxpedition range bag. And
right.
It's kind of the same thing that you're talking about. It's got the shoulder strap and then it's got a belt. And I actually considered changing it over to my Bob bag. It's a little bit bigger than what I have. So Yeah. That goes back to do what you want. I mean, if you're comfortable, if you want to wear a shoulder bag, go for it. It's your bag. It's your bag. You know, it's your stuff. It doesn't matter what Joe Blow thinks. Do what you want to do. I guess we'll wrap it up. Just wanted to touch on the basics about bug out bags. And my biggest thing, I do have to say this, my biggest thing is the bug out bag is a bug out, not a live out bag. It might be, like in Richard's case, he might 50 some miles a day. It might take him, what are you thinking, Richard, to get home, depending on what it is?
3 days.
3 days. It could be 10, right? Depending on.
I mean, one of the obstacles is the bridge, and if you have a problem, interstate shutdown, whatever, anything can happen, I suppose. Then they tend to focus on bridges and stuff to control traffic flow and things like that.
Well, you may not feel well. You may turn your ankle a little bit. It may take you longer than 3 days. It might. I'm not going to be. I'm not the guy that's going to be walking out in the open either. So. Yeah. So you may have to be a little more stealthy. So you're going to have to be a little slower. A little, you know.
I'm old enough. I'm going to be going a little slower anyway. I'm not going to kill myself.
Yeah.
I need to actually function the second day, so I'm going to take it at a pace that I can handle and just deal with it.
My 116 miles or whatever, I figure maybe 10 miles a day. So that's 12 days to get back here. So that's a different situation than I see as a bug out bag. Because a bug out bag is to get out. Yeah, is to get out, get away, go from point A to point B. Point B is a prepared place. So it's not a live out bag for me. My live out bag is my inch bag. That's got all this crap that I can take 12 days to get home with, or 12 days to get to another location with, or 2 months, whatever it is. So, okay, well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Make sure you check us out on Facebook at 21st Century Prepper, and also on the World Wide Web at 21stcenturyprepper.net. Thank you very much.